Blog Talk Radio.
Good morning and welcome to the Parenting Aces radio show on Blog Talk Radio's UR Tennis Network. I'm your host, Lisa Stone, and am so thrilled to have the opportunity to talk about the BNP Paribas Master'U Championships this week. We have Coach Greg Patton joining us today. We have Hayley Carter, who plays for UNC and played on TeamUSA, joining us today as well, and I think we're going to have a great conversation, and I'm just so excited to hear about these guys' experience in France and bringing home the title, the 6th consecutive title for Team USA, 7th overall. I mean, it's just unbelievable, and it was just so exciting to follow their progress over there earlier this month. And before I bring Greg on, I just want to remind everyone our show airs live for an hour. If we go a little past that hour, you'll be able to catch the end of it in the podcast. That'll be available later today on ParentingAces.com and also on the Parenting Aces YouTube channel. So if you have to duck out, or if we wind up going a little past noon today, be sure and listen to the rest of the show later by going to the podcast. And you can always share those podcasts with your friends that don't have the opportunity to tune in live. We have some great ones on the website and on the YouTube channel, and you can search by topic, and you can look at them by guest, by date. So we have a lot of different ways for you to get at that information. I also want to remind y'all to be sure to follow us on social media. We have a Facebook page, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest. We're on Google+, we're on LinkedIn. So if you want to make sure to stay up to date with all of the great information on junior tennis, on college tennis, on transitioning from juniors to college, transitioning from college to pros, we've got all of that on the various social media outlets, so be sure to follow us. All right, so I think that's all I needed to tell you guys. It's cold and rainy here, so I'm happy to be indoors. I've got a fire going and trying to stay warm, but anyway, it's not half as warm as it is in Boise, Idaho, where today's guest is stationed. So Greg Patton, let me get him on the phone. Here we go. Greg, are you with us?
I sure am, and I got the heat on here too, so it's all, I'm sharing in your frigidity.
Yeah, I'm getting some kind of frigid texts from my kid from Boise, Idaho too. So it's a little chilly in your neck of the woods. It
is right now, but it's all good. It's beautiful, that's for sure. Then well, it's good to be home too.
Yeah, so how was the trip? Y'all came home with the big trophy again? That must feel good.
Oh my gosh, it's radiant. It was an incredible experience. I've done it for 8 years in a row, and it just keeps getting better. And I feel like I'm living on borrowed time because, I think some people believe there's no such thing as miracles, and I believe miracles happen every day. And we had some miraculous play and comebacks and passion, and it was everything that you could script. It was, it's an incredible experience. It's a learning experience, and it's an important experience for our players. And and it still creates these incredible opportunities for our young people, our young players, and then what it does when you give them these opportunities, and then the possibilities become so great. And by that, what I mean is putting our young, talented collegiate players on an international stage, playing for each other, playing for others, and it's amazing to see how they flourish and how their games get greater. I mean, and I guess the bottom line, the foundation is we want to use this as a developmental tool so that our players will come back from this trip and be better and have grown. and it happens before my very own eyes, and I get to live it. I get to experience it. I can smell the incredible fragrance of this talent playing, and it's wonderful, exhilarating experience I know for myself and for Coach Melissa Schramm from Ohio State, is like to be able to be a part of something so vibrant and exciting. You can't beat it. And what I got to express is, there's a lot of people there. There's, obviously you have 7 other countries with their best and the brightest, and many of them are on the pro circuit and playing professional tennis. And so it gives our players a chance to play internationally in France and to be wearing the USA, and to give them a taste about what this is all about, with the ultimate goal that one day they'll be playing on the biggest stages, on Grand Slams, and playing Davis Cup and Fed Cup.
Absolutely. And so let me just mention the players on this year's Team USA. You had, for the boys, you had Chris Eubanks from Georgia Tech, one of our local Atlanta boys. You had Tom Fawcett from Stanford, who was also on the team last year, and I'm going to ask you about that in a few minutes. And you had Strong Kirchheimer from Northwestern. And then on the women's side, and you mentioned Coach Schaub from Ohio State, so she was your co-coach for the event this year. You had Hayley Carter from UNC. You had Francesca Di Lorenzo from Ohio State. And then you had Anna Shibahara from my alma mater, UCLA. And what a great group. You had 2 freshmen. One freshman.
One sophomore.
One sophomore.
On the women's side, right?
Sorry, go ahead.
So we have on the women's side, I think Hayley, are you a senior? She's a senior now. And so I think Hayley's a senior. Anna is a freshman, and I call her D-Lo, Francesca. She's a sophomore. And on the men's side, Chris is a junior, Tom is a junior, and Strong is a senior. So it was a great balance in terms of underclassmen and upperclassmen. So it was phenomenal, and the chemistry was wonderful. And it's the whole idea is like the whole concept is to I feel like Cupid, and you bring these players together and you surround them with great successful people. And when you do that, then what happens? Everybody that feeling and that aura tends to it's contagious, and they all have something incredible to offer and give, and then they get to take this from each other. And so there's no doubt that, in anything, you are who you're with and who you surround yourself with. And so what happens is everybody, I think, takes after. I think they grew really close. And one of the most important things about this trip, and every trip that I take, going from, I was a national coach for 8 years. I've been doing, for the USTA, and I was taking teams, juniors overseas. And this now, getting to do this for my 8th year as taking the top collegiate players overseas, is the most important thing is a team build and team bonding, and get them that they're playing for something bigger than themselves. Then it's not a cliche; it's a very real, it's a very powerful thing. And so we spend a lot of time, whenever I can, is to create a sense of togetherness, a team, and to be really honest, to go beyond that to building a family, where they're brothers and sisters who share the same passion, and to realize that the greatest thing is to give to each other, support, knowledge. I know that the players were talking about their matches and about the play and their opponents, and it's a constant. Life is not stagnant. It's very vibrant. There's a flow. There's a flow of information. There's a flow of knowledge, and wisdom is not the thing that has any boundaries. It's just you keep growing and growing. So this is like taking a person to a classroom, and really, basically, those courts are classrooms. And taking from this, so they'll grow and they'll become better. And they're young people at the start of incredible careers. And so we really want to make the most of it. Now, ultimately, the greatest, I always feel like, even when you lose, it's a great teacher, and you learn so much. But you can't beat the resonance. How this radiates in their life is when they win and learn from it. So obviously, I'm driven. I'm a competitor, and I love to win, and I love to see my players win. And to put them in this situation where they have the opportunity to, that's very helpful in terms for them, and also to, I think we need to have, as Americans, a presence on the international tennis scene. Like heck, we're a force to be reckoned with, and we're demonstrating that. We're demonstrating that we're, the pro pathway is just not going out on the pros when you're 16, 17, 18 years old and grinding it away. There's the other pathway, which is really vibrant and vital and important and powerful, is the college pathway. And so this is where we get a chance to strut our stuff and show what we've got and realize the importance of it. And, tennis is such an individual sport that we take it out of that now it's a team sport. We're playing for each other. So, I can't elaborate a lot, but I'm going to leave it right there. I love it. I'm passionate about with this teams and that I've been coaching. And I'll say one thing before I pause is this team has always been, the last 8 years, is to pick great people. People that are smart, that are successful in the classroom, who have great people skills, who are people that are warm, passionate, and compassionate. And we've been successful in doing that. I can go down all the years of the most incredible young people who become successful on the pro circuit. Stevie Johnson played for us. Ina Falcone played for us. Noah Rubin played for us. And the list goes on. Jameer Jenkins, Lauren Embry. I mean, just it goes on and on about players that I've been so gifted or fortunate and graced to have on our team. But the thing that happens is you put great people, and you pick great people for a team, and that makes a great team. And then great teams make great players. By that I mean is that those players played on a great team. There's no doubt this team was great. And then what happens is they leave that team and now go back into their specific, their different areas of life, their college teams, and playing again as individuals and for their college teams. And I believe they're greater players for it. So they become great players. So that process is great people make great teams make great players.
I think we've got Hayley Carter hanging on here. Let me see if this is her. Hayley, are you with us?
Yes, this is me.
Hey, Hayley, thanks for calling in. I know this is a crazy time for all you guys at the end of the semester and all that, but I'm so glad you could squeeze some time out of your schedule to join us today.
Oh, yeah, no, happy to be here. I just finished up exams yesterday, so I'm free.
Woohoo!
Yes, I know. Exciting.
So, Hayley, I'm going to let you share with us, while you can be with us on the air, your experience of being in France with the TeamUSA this year and what you learned from that experience and how it differs from your regular team play at UNC.
I was talking to Stephen Armitage back with the USGA when I got back, and I told him, it was one of the best tennis experiences of my life. I've never been fortunate enough to be able to play with the USGA on my back until this tournament, and it was so much fun. It was such an incredible feeling. It's honestly hard to put into words to be able to represent your country. But yeah, I guess the overall tournament, the energy, the atmosphere at the event is incredible. There's, the stands are full. People are cheering. People are from every country are, cheering against you or cheering for you or it's just a lot of fun. And, it was an incredible atmosphere. And I guess, what we took away from it was, as Greg talked about so well, as we left a family. I have 5 new best friends that were my teammates, and I have 2 amazing coaches that all keep in touch with, hopefully for the rest of my life. And I think, so that's the main thing. I think the event, too, itself, I mean, you saw Francesca Di Lorenzo beat someone 190 WTA. I played someone and won against someone 400 WTA. So it gave us a lot of confidence, I think, moving forward from that, being able to play at the top professional level.
Absolutely. And talk about the mixed doubles aspect. I got to watch you and Chris win at the Oracle event in Malibu earlier this year, and I know y'all had hoped to get to play mixed doubles together at this event. And I kept watching every day. I kept watching the lineup, saying, "Oh my gosh, I hope they get to play together." Y'all didn't get to play together this time, but you did okay with Tom. So you want to talk a little bit about the mixed doubles?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the Oracle tournament, I guess first off, it was one of the most fun tournaments I've played, and that was because of the mixed doubles. Chris is one of my best friends in the entire world, and I've talked to him probably every day since the Oracle tournament. So yeah, we were hoping to play, but we didn't get to. We didn't actually end up having to need any of the mixed doubles points, but I played with Tom, and we were great. Tom's now one of my best friends as well. It's just so fun. It's something different. I think playing mixed doubles has made my doubles, my regular doubles so much better. It's just a lot of fun and a unique experience that I think, college tennis would really benefit from if they included it more. I know everyone that played it had such a great experience at the Oracle tournament, and I had a great experience with it in France. So I think it's definitely a new fun element for college tennis.
I want to ask both of you about this whole aspect of having the men and the women together on the team, because I know in most college environments, the men's team and the women's team are very separate. I mean, they play at different times. They don't typically practice together. You rarely see on social media the teams doing things, interacting together. So what was that like to have the men and the women together and interacting and competing as one? Greg, you want to take it first?
Okay. It's a powerful tool. It's an incredibly powerful tool, first of all. The women bring, I'm a college men's coach, and when I worked for the USTA, I primarily worked with men. So the input and the from the women brings a different parameter and different things to the table that makes it fun, and I think it adds to the whole element when you have a team of men and women playing together. The fun aspect is it's a great, it's the guys, for they have to be gentlemen, first of all. and the thing is, I think it's really cool, and I think that the insights from the women, the men, the respect that they have for their teammates is really cool, and they see so many different aspects of the game when they're watching and sharing the women when they play their singles matches and their doubles matches. Especially the doubles. The way women play doubles is entirely different from the way the men play doubles. The women usually have, it's one up, one back. The woman at the net is the good doubles teams is a moving force that's always trying to make the court smaller for the person who's trying to go across court a lot. So you see that, when you're on the men's side, where you're always trying to get your, both men up to the net, and they see that, and they see exactly how important that net person is in terms of making the court smaller, taking the middle away from your opponent. So tactically, very big. But I think it's the emotional part, too, and the caring and the passion that the women bring to the game that I think is really contagious to the men. I think they really get all of a sudden like the sense of us. I think women bond on teams and really well, where they, that they I don't want to say the word surrender to the team, but what they do is they really commit to the team. And it's and I saw that every time for the last 8 years, I see how they're the kind of the glue and the emotional and how much they care and how much joy they bring. So it is a great tool for development. And I love the aspect of the men and women. And I love, over the years I've been with Amanda Augusta, who's the coach at Cal, and Mark Gabo, who's from Virginia, and now I had a chance to coach with Melissa Shaw. And they're all incredible coaches, and all bring such a great dynamic to the table. And I love working with Melissa, and it's amazing. You never stop learning, and it was just powerful. Then just the relationships, that you bring. It's they're very meaningful, and I think meaningful relationships is created by duration and by intensity. And by that I mean the duration. In a long relationship, we have a long relationship, it becomes a meaningful one. Well, it's not really, when you think about it, it is a long relationship because we're with each other for like 7-8 days, and we're with each other 724. So in a sense, that is long. There's a lot of time that we're with each other. And then the intensity of the relationship. And the intensity is like, every day we're competing. And it's an all-day thing. We go on the courts at 9 and we get off the courts around 8. It's like one match after another. We go one women's singles, a men's singles, another women's singles, a men's singles on one court, and then we have 3 doubles. So you have all the makings of this great epic story, that has comedy, drama, tragedy, feeling good stuff and horror and everything. And so that makes it incredibly, like I said, meaningful, relationship. And the relationships are great. The men bring a lot to the table for the women, and the women bring a lot to the table for the men, and they can truly learn and grow from. I coached World Team Tennis for 15 years, which was made up of 2 men and 2 women, and I really bought into this fact about how much they can really help each other, and it's just not, men's tennis and women's tennis, it's about tennis. Does that make sense?
Hey, absolutely. Hayley, what was your take on it?
Yeah, I'd have to agree with all of Greg's points and just kind of say it was just so much fun. Honestly, it's something you're not really used to playing with guys and playing alongside them and cheering for them. So you've been to a guys match, you know how much they heckle and how loud they get and all of that. So it was kind of fun to play against that and play with it on your side. So that brought a different element. But yeah, I think we just kind of left, kind of like brothers and sisters. The guys would pick on us, make fun of us, and we'd throw it back at them. We became a family, and so it was a really cool dynamic to be a part of. And to go off Greg's point, I think we made each other a lot better this week. Chris and Strong were helping me with my serve. They were showing me different things I could do with my serve. I was telling Chris, he needs to do more Australian in doubles because he doesn't do that, and a lot of guys don't do it as much. So I think we became brothers and sisters, and we also made each other better. So it was a really cool dynamic for sure.
Do you think you'll take some of that into your team season this year, and maybe reach out a little more to the guys on the UNC team and see if y'all can interact a little bit more? Is that something that happens?
Yeah, I think it varies depending on the school. I think, some coaches, I would say maybe, for example, the TCU team, I know Coach Radidi and Coach Lee Taylor-Walker, they do a good job of, putting matches together, girls and guys, and really making it, one big program. So I think it depends on the school. For us, maybe we're a little more separate. So I think definitely I'll take away from France and realize how fun it was to support the guys team, and how we should be one big UNC family, and we should support each other, and it makes it a lot more fun for sure. And if we have each other in one another's corners, then the sky's the limit for both of our teams for sure.
Great. let's talk about the specific matches. On the first day, you guys played Ireland, and y'all, let's face it, y'all dominated in a big way that first day. The second day, y'all faced Germany, and that was a lot tougher call. And then on the third day, in the final, y'all played Russia, which everyone expected to be a really tough match. And then from the scores, it seems like the U.S. team dominated once again. So, Hayley, can you talk a little bit about what playing those various matches felt like? That first day, I think you were the first one up. Is that right?
Oh, yes, I was the first one up, and my racket was shaking when I hit my first serve. I was quite a bit nervous, just, playing for USA the first time. But I would say Ireland was a really good matchup to kind of get our feet wet in the competition because, they were familiar to us, I guess is how I would put it. I was playing someone that played at Notre Dame. There's a Texas Tech guy on the team, so we kind of knew them. It was a good start for the tournament.
Well, you were nervous, but you won 0-1, so it must have gone away pretty quickly.
So we tried to make Hayley nervous the whole tournament.
Yeah, I would say so. And then you got to play doubles with Anna that day, and y'all dominated too, winning 8-1. Can you talk a little bit about that? Had y'all played together before? How did y'all prepare for that match?
We had never played together. I knew of her kind of from, obviously, she won U.S. Open junior doubles, which is pretty good. And she kind of knew of me. Yeah, she kind of knew of me from college. So we knew we would be a good pair, but I don't think we realized, how good of a pair we would be. I think I don't know, it was one of the best doubles partners I've ever had. I felt completely free on the court to do anything because I knew she was there and she had my back. It was, I'm looking forward to playing with her for sure in future pro tournaments and, trying to get into some bigger events is my goal moving forward from this. So we may have found ourselves a good doubles partnership leaving France.
That's cool to hear. One of the things I love about Anna, and I'm still hopeful that maybe she'll have a chance to call in today, but I had never seen her play until that Oracle event in Malibu. And for anybody that has a chance to watch her, sit close to the court and sit behind her, because I've never heard a player talk to themselves the way Anna talks to herself between points. And does she do that in doubles too, Hayley? Does she give out that? I mean, she has the most positive self-talk of anybody I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, she does it, but she more directs it towards me. It's kind of funny. She'll say, "Here we go, you got this, Hayley. You can do this right now." So she kind of takes it from directing it towards herself in the singles to directing it towards me. But it was kind of funny going into the event. She told all of us. She said it when we were at lunch. She was like, "Just know, everyone, I talk to myself a lot on the court. Don't think I'm weird."
Yeah, she is, and in fact, Greg, you and I had talked about Anna too, and I told you how impressed I was by her, and more than her tennis, but this whole self-talk thing on the court, I was dying to record it and just post it on my website because I've never heard that before. What did you think of that as a coach?
Oh, I think it's awesome. Basically, first of all, there's a lot of chatter. I mean, think about this. Whenever in life, everywhere we go, there's chatter, there's a dialogue going on in our brain, right, with ourselves. And your thoughts and your words, especially your words create your reality. Okay, so if you say that you suck on a tennis court, well, you're going to probably play poorly, and so your words create reality. And Anna is this muse who spouts just positivity all over the place. And so is that a key to the success that she's having and will have? Absolutely. Hayley is I look at her as Joan of Arc. I mean, she is like this guardian angel saint out on the court. And she exudes this positive feeling. I mean, it's joyful to watch her play. It's, I loved watching her play. And I might have said that to you several times, didn't I, Hayley, when you were playing? I mean, be honest, did I say something like that? I can't remember if that's what I say. But
yeah,
this
the
feeling
very
was
first
watching.
changeover.
You know, it's like when you watch these you see the love and the joy of the game. And, you know, there's one time when I think Hayley was playing, or no, it was when Bilo was playing against the Russian, there's anger. You know, the Russians have anger. And I'll tell you one thing, the love of the game and the joy of the game and the happiness in the game will always trump the anger, you know, in the game. And those are the people that are going to be successful. So it was, and it's no secret that our elite players, our better players, tend to have a more positive outlook about themselves and about others and realize it's a game and that they love to play the game. So it's something that, and when you take them as a team, it's infectious, and they realize, and it basically affirms who they are and what they do. So it's this thing that we create an atmosphere. When you're around people that are happy, you can't be a sourpuss and you can't be negative because there's all this joy going around, and so you just get caught up into it. And it's funny is we had a close match with Germany, and the German player, they were up 2-1 in the singles, and they had in that match against Germany, the German player was up 5-1 in the third set tiebreaker against Chris Eubanks. And the guy was going to serve at 5-1. And the German was a character. he was like out of some, I mean, he was a wild dude. And it was funny because Chris, the energy coming off the bench with the players, with Hayley, with Anna, you know, with Tom and Strong and everybody, and Melissa, was so positive that it was almost like it, and I told them, you know, like, hey, we did this last year against Germany. We came back from and made this miraculous comeback and fought off team match points. And here we're in that same position where the opponent's serving at 5-1. I mean, the chances of Chris winning that are minuscule. But he on the bench, he was so positive. There wasn't no panic, no fear, just this heightened sense of living, playing for this. And he goes on. And I talked to him about the miracle. I guess the miracles are going to happen. The miracle's going to happen. You got this. And he did it. He broke the guy who was serving at 5-1, broke him 2 points, makes it now 5-3. Then he gets his 2 points, makes it, he brings it up to 5-all. And just, I mean, all these miraculous things happen. The quality of play and the shot making was tremendous. And so it comes to this point of, like, I feel like tennis has, you know, if you want to have a wonderful life, one of the qualities of having a wonderful life is having awe and wonder in the sport. And, you know, it's, having a wonderful life means having, you know, hanging out with wonderful people, having the intent to have a wonderful day, which means having the intent to have a wonderful match. And it means surround yourself with wonderful people. It means, you know, have wonderful dialogue, and it means having awe and wonder. And I think that's where we got to with this team, as we were watching each other. See, being on a team is each person was called to go out on the stage and to play for each other. And then they were told, they'd come off after they played, then they would play the match emotionally, spiritually, mentally, but the physical part was by the player who was on the court. But we were playing the rest of it off the court. So, incredible stuff going on. Incredible. This is what makes this so special, you know, and that's what's the greatest thing about team sports. And believe me, tennis is one of the greatest team sports ever. If you put it in the right.
I agree with you.
Know.
I agree.
Yep.
Yeah, you will get no argument here. Hayley, what was it like to go to France? Had you been there before, first of all?
No, actually, this was my first time out of the country, which is kind of unusual for a junior tennis player. But it was my first time out of the country, and it was super, super cool. My first passport passport stamp will always be documented forever.
That's very cool. So you're going out of the country for the first time. You're going with two coaches who maybe you'd met before but didn't really have intimate knowledge of. You're traveling with 5 teammates that, again, you and Chris knew each other well. I assume that, well, you said you and Anna, y'all were both in the Oracle tournament together, so I'm assuming y'all got to know each other a bit there. Did you know Fran from juniors or no?
More from college. We've had quite a few battles.
From last year?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean,
and
yeah.
So you're going to a foreign country, 2 new coaches, 5 new teammates. What was that like as a player? Because as a college player, your coach is such an integral part of your day-to-day life. And, you know, even during the off season, your coach is still part of the picture. So what was it like having to kind of adjust to different coaching styles, different teammates? You know, what were some of the challenges with that?
Yeah, I would say, you know, going into it, first I was obviously going to a different country for the first time, and, you know, wasn't really familiar with everyone on a super close level, so I was a little nervous, but I think, you know, Coach Patton does such an amazing job of really emphasizing team building right away. You know, right from JFK Airport, we were all together. We were all getting to know one another, and, you know, he really made it a point for us to bond and, you know, to bond quickly. So I think the transition was, you know, honestly as smooth as it could possibly go. From the first practice, you know, Coach Job was giving me pointers on my return. You know, they just kind of stepped right in and assumed the role and had confidence in assuming that role, and it worked out really well. And, you know, it honestly went perfectly in my book.
What were some of the specific things y'all did on the team building front?
Coach Patton can take that one over if he wants.
Well, I'm even curious to see what Hayley, what you felt, what you felt about it. I think the one thing is it's got to be in terms of the team building, it's almost a discrete thing. Where they don't really realize what they're doing, but it's a big question of getting to know each other and opening up to each other. And it starts like, I think, the first thing is just getting together. You just start asking, like, who's their favorite music group? What's their favorite movie? You know, just kind of, you know, really kind of, you know, simple questions that, you know, people can relate to. And it's kind of fun. It doesn't feel it's too intrusive. And then they're always finding times where we get a chance to talk and to really share who we are, what our dreams are, what our aspirations are, what you know, what's resonated in our lives, why they play tennis, you know, those types of things, and then to elaborate on it and to reflect on it, and then to take these reflections and to then get to a point where really when it comes right down to it, that they're playing for each other, that they really have this sense of serving each other. And then by virtue of doing that, then they serve the team and they serve their country, because we are definitely playing with USA on our backs. And when we walk around, the cheers are all about USA or Ireland or Germany or Russia or France or Great Britain. So it's there's this sense of that this transcends just who they are. So, but yeah, I mean, we do a lot of stuff, and I don't know if Hayley, how you know when you're reflecting upon what the things that we did, it was almost like we all went. You know, we went downtown to a village and we walked around, and in the past we've done a lot more things out in the community, and for some reason we didn't get that chance. But it was also getting to practice, and it was different though. The one thing that was different that I didn't in the past, we've always practiced. We've gone to the courts together to warm up, and and this year we changed a little bit because of the fact that, it's a time change in the sleep, and also the fact that the courts, we got the courts so early in the morning, and there might be a person who's playing at 12. We kind of changed that, and it didn't. At first, I was a little afraid to do that, is to change our practice. What we used to do in the past was go all together and do a bunch of games and drills together with 6 players on the court. And this time around, we didn't do it, but we did different things in the same vein. Like maybe we'd bring players at different times, and we'd found practice courts, which we've never done before. But just all basically, everything was together, ate together all the time. I think the best coaching is done over a dinner, is over a meal. And, we sat and we talked about the matches, and it was also just having fun. I mean, and Hayley brought it out perfectly. I mean, people that are successful in the business room, in the corporate room, in the classroom, and wherever you go, there has to be an element of fun. And some people feel like to be successful in anything or whatever it is, there has to be this element of hard work and intensity, and it is not fun. And I don't really subscribe to that. I'm an advocate of, hey, there's joy here, there's fun here. Let's have fun. Let's have fun in the competition. Let's support each other from an element of fun and enjoy this battle. And so that's kind of what it is. But we did we asked players who's made a big impact on their lives and introduce each other and just things like that. What did you think about it, Hayley? Did you, in terms of when you were there, could you see my devious ways?
Yes, I saw him. Coach Patton asked a lot of questions. I think that's the key. We went to every meal together. We went to practices. He also, something I think he does really cool is he doesn't like he would have the guys hit with the girls and kind of interchange it. It wasn't all guys on one court, all girls on another court. We were hitting with one another and playing against one another. So you had that element. Then like he said, he got us together and he would ask questions. And one night we're watching Chris Eubanks' favorite movie. The whole team is watching that. And the next night we'll watch my favorite movie. We just got to really know each other. All around.
Coach, how did you choose the members of the team? And is there a process that you follow that's the same year in and year out, or do you do it differently each year?
No, it's done differently each year because basically also the USTA has, Steve Armitage is involved with it now, so I consult with him on the men's side. I really don't I basically, when it comes to the women, I do my homework, but I don't really see the women at all, except for at the NCAAs. But I do research and I learn a lot about them because I do know the coaches, and I heard a lot of great things about Hayley and about Emma and D'Lo, and so I basically, when they tell me who they're going to take, I just go thumbs up. And, my main thing is what type of people are they? Are they selfish? Are they self-absorbed? Or are they really, are they a people that will bring a lot to the table in terms of passion, compassion, a person you just want to be with. Same thing on the men's side. On the men's side, I have a lot better, so my input's a lot more, I've seen the guys play. I see the ones who I know are going to take something out of it. I see people who have potential. The whole idea, too, is we just don't want, this is a beginning. It's not the end all, which by that I mean is we just don't take them on this trip and it's a reward for maybe a good college season or a good career and thumbs up and let's go to play this tournament, see you later. It's all about where they're going to be 4 years down or, next year, 2 years down the line, 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line. How is this going to impact them? And obviously I cherish and treasure this experience and the fact that it can be so powerful and life-changing. And, everything is, people might be listening to this saying, life-changing, what do you mean by that? Well, you want to know something? Everything that we do in our life and the relationships that we meet and the experiences that we go through change our lives. They change the direction and the pathway or the way that we strive through life. It changes that. So there's no doubt I think I'm a better person, a better coach by virtue of the fact of having Hayley and Chris and Strong and Tom and all these people around me, and having Melissa as my co-coach. I mean, I've grown so much for them. So because of them. So that's the power of this experience, and that's the reason I believe in it so strongly, about this whole journey. And so when I have the chance to pick the team with the men, it's all about, okay, who's a great guy? Who's a guy who's going to be open to this? It's kind of like going to school. When you get your degree, really what the degree means is ultimately what it tells the world is you have the ability to be taught and learn. Now, did you hear what I said? First of all, to be taught. And and what we're looking for is, and I think I have certain gifts, I think, that I praise God to, is I have the ability to see the potential in people and realize where they're going. So that's a responsibility I have, is to make sure that happens. And like I said, everything that we go through, be it bad or good, will impact us. It's how we respond to it is so important, and how we can come out of it a happier, more fulfilled person. And I think what we talked about this when we were in France, and I talk about this a lot, is, hey, where's the joy? What's the thing that you want more than anything? Do people want power or money or ranking or this and that? And I think those are basically silly. I think the one thing that we're all looking for, and once you realize it, is happiness. And if you're happy, you're going to be successful. If you're happy, you're going to be more influential. If you're happy, you're going to be a better leader. And if you're happy, you have this happy persona, person that's happy, people are going to want to be around you. And then you have an impact on them. So that's the type of guys I was choosing, that I wanted on the team. Last year's team, we had Tom and Mackenzie McDonald and Austin Smith, and it was great experience. I mean, with the guys, because that's basically where my my big influence is on the men's side. So and Mackenzie and Austin both are out the pro circuit now, and so I really wanted Tom back because he has such great personality. He has such a great perspective. He's such a great athlete, and there's he's got a humility about him too that's endearing. And so that's the reason we picked. So I talked to Steve, and I said, hey, this is the guys that I like, and he told me the guys he liked, and we said, it was very easy to agree on who we should bring. So that's kind of how they're picked. And I think Steve, does. I don't think Melissa had, because Melissa was chosen at a very late date to be my co-coach. And so I don't think she had very much input other than the fact that just because her player, Lorenza, she, obviously she's been coaching and she's like a superstar, rock star like Hayley is. And she, I think she had input about, I think the individual coaches also have some input with us. And I'm sure she, and she was absolutely right. I mean, the gals, this was, of all the years, we had Bernice Capper on our team, and we've had great women players, great players. But you know what? These three, by far, I think, was the strongest women's contingent that we've ever had. We were rock solid. We were so solid. Our women's side, I mean, they were great, absolutely great, and it was so much fun to coach and play and play with them. And it's funny, that match with Russia, the Russian girls were awesome. And Hayley started it off against Russia in the finals. I mean, they're a great team, and they've always have been great. And they love to play us, and I think they're frustrated because we've always – but Hayley started off against this girl by the name of Tarasova, who has a one-handed backhand, who is great. And Hayley – and I was so ecstatic at the end of the match because Hayley beat her 6-4, 6-1. And you would see that score, and you think, well, that's almost routine. But this girl, it was the gladiators out there battling away. So it shows you kind of what, and like I said, I think our team came from a foundation of joy. And I think the Russians came out of a foundation of that they had to win, must, and they were angry, and so here you have Hayley looking at us and giving us a fist bump with a laugh and a smile, and the Russian girl was screaming at her coach, angry. So it was like it's incredible. I think I said when the score was, when I was talking about the score against the Russians, we were up 2-1 because Hayley won and Francesca won. And then when Chris was playing his match, we were up 2-1. So if he lost that match, the score would have been 2-2. And I think I erroneously said that we would have been down 3-1. But no, the score would have been 2-2. So Chris put us in a great position to, we were tied going to the doubles. And when we go on the doubles, and when you have Hayley and Anna starting off the doubles, I mean, they didn't lose a set. And I'll tell you something. We've had great teams in the past on the women's side, and they've lost matches. And this team here was by far the strongest one. So the great thing is, hopefully, we can get them all back next year and go back and defend our title again. And a funny story is the president of the French Tennis Federation came up to me in the day when they're having the big ceremonies, and he pulled me aside. So they're introducing all the teams, and there's hundreds of people there. And he pulls me aside, and he goes, Coach, congratulations on your 6th straight championship. And he says, if you come back to France next year, we're going to have to kill you. We're going to have to shoot you. That's what he said. He goes, if you come back next year, we're going to have to shoot you. And it was probably the greatest compliment I've ever heard. It was like, it was absolutely delightful. And I was going, oh my gosh! Then I asked, I go, well, don't you guys have gun control here in France? And he kind of laughed, but it was an amazing thing. And you know what, you as a competitor, and what we bring and what we want, I want to empower our players. I want to empower Hayley. I want to empower Chris. I want to get them so they're so empowered that they're emboldened when they play, that they walk the talk and they have confidence. And you also create that in the minds of your opponents. Now, Stevie Johnson went there, and he played lights out and helped us win a match when we were down 3-1. I mean, we were down 3-1, and all they had to do was win one of the 3 doubles against the French. And Stevie was a big part of us coming back. He won his singles, and then he won, and there was this aura around Stevie. And Stevie, this is when Stevie was a sophomore. This is before he started making history. He was playing number 3 for USC. I had coached him on the junior national team as a junior. I'd spent a lot of time with him when he was, as a kid. And the whole transition, the whole process of Stevie getting to where he is now, he's 20 in the world. All these experiences contributed to it, and also he developed. I think from there, people, you can tell when people respect you on the court. And as opponents started after the tournament, there was that respect for Stevie, on an international stage. And then, he comes back and he brought that his junior and seniors year in college tennis where he was undefeated. And then he took, excuse me for this, my dog. She's a squirrel. She's a squirrel. So, you take this into your life and this empowerment and this emboldened. He was emboldened enough to do this, and so that's what we're hoping. And I'll tell you something. And I'm going to say it on the air with Hayley. I do think I have some gifts in terms of just seeing talent and seeing what a person can be. When I look at a person, I look at who are going to be 5 years down the line. Who are they going to be like 10 years down the line? What is this person growing into be? And I look at Hayley and Francesca and Anna and Chris and Strong, and they all have great qualities and great talents and great things that make them special. And all I see is abundance. I see incredible abundance in these people. And something where they can use tennis as a means and vehicle to impact other people. And I look at Hayley, and I knew Hayley was really good. I'd heard great things. I'd done my research. Everything that I heard was so positive. The same thing about Francesca and Anna. And then they came, and it was absolutely true. And I looked and I could see like Hayley, and I know I listen to me, is that you have you make the right decisions, you lead your life the right way, you make the right sacrifices, you treat yourself with kindness and goodness, you are going to thrive and flourish and be a great player and have an impact on the world stage. There's no doubt in my mind. And why do I say this? Because I've been able to do this. I have great confidence in my ability to, and I think that's a gift God gave me, is I can see people, I can see what they can be, and that what I try to do is keep lighting the fire so they stay by the warmth and that they achieve and realize all their dreams and goals.
Wow, Hayley. Pressure's on, girl.
No pressure. No pressure, baby.
So, Hayley,
I'll
let me ask you, after listening to Greg's eloquence, and Greg, you are a phenomenal human being, so let me just go on record there. Hayley, when you got the call that you were being offered this position on the team, was there any hesitation on your part? I mean, it's December, it's the end of the semester, you've got finals, you know, whatever else you've got going on, getting ready for the season. And so did you have to blink, or did you just say, absolutely, I'm in?
Yeah, no, for me, I don't think there was any blinking whatsoever. I jumped right on the opportunity. You know, something I had seen for the past 3 years. I'm a senior, so I got to see every team each year, and I saw, they would come back and have such amazing experiences, and have such great experiences with Coach Patton, and so I jumped on the opportunity and was so incredibly excited for it.
And so, from an academic standpoint, like, how did you manage your schoolwork while you were gone? Because y'all were gone a week, I think, right?
Yes, we were gone a week. I had a little bit of I was actually very fortunate and able to do my exams online. I kind of worked out a thing with the university to be able to do them online. So, I think some of the other kids had a little bit more of a struggle with their academics, but for me, it was smooth sailing.
That's good. And you said you had your last final yesterday, so I mean, obviously, you were having to keep up with your classwork while you were gone.
Oh yes, I was. I remember one. I don't know which match it was before. Coach Patton probably won't like to hear this, but I was in the bathroom. I was in the bathroom because we were rooming I was with Anna and D'Lo in the same room. So I was in the bathroom doing my schoolwork until 3 a.m. To not wake them up. So I had a little bit of a rough time with some of the assignments, but I got it done and was able to play well on the court too. So it worked out.
That's good. I know Coach Patton's a stickler for the sleep thing.
You're right. I feel for them too. It's tough going out at that time change and going out, and that's the reason we go a little bit earlier, just to get used to it. So, yeah, if you play that well being sleep deprived, baby, you're going to win a slam.
That's awesome to hear. So Hayley, you're on break now, I guess, until January. What's on tap for you for the rest of December?
For me, it's just training, honestly. I think, I'd say one more thing about Coach Patton's. He said, he kept telling us, play for yourself 5 years from now. Take care of yourself for 5 years from now. And that's one of my biggest takeaways, I guess, from the event is, I'm so excited. I don't think I've ever been so excited for a training block in my life as I am for this winter break, to just go out and work so incredibly hard. I'm so motivated, and I can't wait to see where it takes me, because this is my last little bit before I graduate and I take on the pro circuit full time. So I'm looking forward to it, and France was definitely a great jump start to that career.
Fantastic. Coach Patton, any final words of wisdom you want to leave us with?
Just go USA. It's everybody have a great. I hope you all have a wonderful holiday. And I just realized it's funny. I sometimes I get delusional, and I keep thinking that Hayley's going to be back next year, and now I realize that Hayley's. You're the only senior on our team, right?
Strong.
Too. Strong. Yes. Yeah, Strong. That's right. So. Oh, Hayley, I'm missing you already because I was looking forward to you playing again next year. But I'll be really excited to to watch you on the circuit. And it's funny. You might even hit. My son was a practice partner to the women on the WTA for the Americans last summer. So you might get a chance to. Hopefully, you'll get a chance to hit with my son when he's out there training with the women. So, it's just a great thing, and this Master'U, and I'm just so blessed to be able to be part of it, and I'm so, blessed to be a coach and have people like Hayley and the team that we had, and I just keep on smiling. So it was great. I think what you do, Lisa, is awesome with the show and keeping this dialogue going and everything. And I think also just the fact that you deal with parents are a big component of it, and of what happens to these kids. So I just want to wish everybody, and it was so great to hear Hayley's voice, and I'm a big fan of Hayley's, and I can't wait to see people keep an eye on her because she's got great things in store for her. You are the real deal.
Thank you.
Awesome. That's awesome. Well, thank you both for being on the show this week. I really appreciate it and loved hearing about your experience in France. Hayley, I wish you all the best for a great senior season, and I will definitely be keeping an eye on you as you move on to the Pro Tour. And, Coach, you'll be seeing way too much of me starting in January, so I look forward to having lots more interactions with you during the season. So thank you both, and happy holidays.
Thank you. Same to you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you. To my listeners, thanks so much for tuning in. We have 2 more shows to wind up 2016, so I hope you'll tune in next week with our guest Todd Whittam, and then the following week we'll finish out 2016 with John Falbo, and so I look forward to being back on the air next Tuesday. Have a great week, everybody. Happy holidays, and see you next week on Parenting Aces.